Hey guys, it's Dragon Rockstar here, and actually, I know it's been a while. Apologize for that. I wasn't able to uh, upload a video last week due to the fact it was the Christmas holiday. I do apologize to that. Um, Happy late Christmas. um, this deck has been changed a whole lot, and I understand that a lot of people do like the videos and everything like that. So thank you so much for commenting and let me know what other decks that you guys would love to see and everything like that. This deck has completely changed. I remodeled the whole deck. It's welcome to my Chaos Orcus deck profile. Now, a lot of people are probably gonna ask me down below why did I go for Orcus. Orcus is a deck that consistently plays a different ratio. So if your main engine gets hit, you have the Orcus to fall back on. So yeah, I'm coming with the main deck, side deck, and extra deck. And I'll go into main details about what I play in the main deck and why. And then I'll also go into main details of the extra deck as well. And what other cards you guys could play in the other cards you could play in the main deck as well, or extra deck and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get started. So for my boss monster, I only have 2 Chaos Creators. I'm trying to find room to fit a third one. It's really hard to put a third one in. In this current moment, Chaos Creator is really the main boss monster you usually want to go for as well. When you also activate the top 5 cards for the Chaos Ruler engine as well and stuff like that. Chaos Creator is your main boss monster you really want to go into and try to establish a good board. It's a good level 8, but you really don't really go for that. But sometimes you'll end up on with Dengishru on the board with him, and like you overlay both Chaos Ruler or sometimes him to go into your Dengishru plays and just go off more combos. So Chaos Creator is a really good boss monster in my personal opinion. I do play double malicious because malicious is just my extremely powerful extender. If you guys are wondering what rarity this is DT. It's not common. But malicious is just another way to extend off. Plus with Chaos Creator, there's multiple ways where you can extend off a lot because once you banish your malicious to summon the other malicious, you can banish light and dark from your graveyard to special summon the Chaos Creator, and then use the Chaos Creator's effect to bounce back that banished malicious you already have and put it back into your deck, and then you just basically recycle your malicious's, and you can keep doing that on throughout the whole game depending on what's going on in a certain depending on your matchups and stuff like that. So that's it for like the big monsters. Now for the Orcus engine, obviously you got to play standard Orcus. You play triple Orcus Nightmare. Most players that I've seen in Orcus decks mainly play 2 or 3. I like 3. I do play 2 World Legacy 1 for a good reason. 1 is just another way to extend and combo off and things of that nature. And it's a 60 card deck, so you mainly want to go for 1. I could do a 40 card version of this deck, so let me know in the comments below if you guys really want to see that. I can try my best to make a 40 card version of this deck, but it will take me a while to do so. Then I play 2 Orcus Skeleton Cybers. I don't know how to pronounce them. 2 Orcus Skeleton, to be exact, and then 2 Orcus Bombar. Bombar is just another level 1 extender. I just don't really use any of the other effects. Plus, I can use both of these two to synchro off, which is another thing I didn't see coming because I didn't realize that Orcus Bombar is a tuner. I don't think it has any restrictions based on what you can special summon, no longer if the monster is a dark monster, I believe. But you just use these to combo off and extend off, and this is perfectly the best ratio of the Orcus engine that I can come up with. Orcus Hope. Yeah, Orcus Hope comes off the ban list. I believe that's how you pronounce him, or Hope Harch, or whatever you count, wherever he's pronounced. If he comes off the ban list, I would play 1, depending on the ratios of what he does and everything like that. But for right now, I think this is so far the best Orcus ratio of this deck. So that's it for the Orcus engine. We'll go off with the hand traps. In this deck, you do play equal amount of hand traps. Personally, my favorite hand traps to play in the main deck. Triple Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is really powerful. Gets a lot of rogue decks and somewhat against a lot of the current A lot of it's really good against a lot of the top tier decks as well. Mainly for Dino players, this card is really powerful. And then I also play the Gamma package. The Gamma package is really powerful. Those of you probably wondering who signed it. It was Team APS, Paul. He's the reason why I just love Gamma. They are really awesome people to fall back on and everything like that, and watch out their deck profiles and things of that nature. Cypher and Gamma and Ash Blossoms are mainly the two best hand traps I would recommend to play in the main deck. Infinite Permanence, if you got room. In my personal opinion, I side deck Infinite Permanence due to the fact I don't have room in the main deck. Infinite Permanence is really powerful against a lot of certain cards, as well as the Gammas and things of that nature. You mainly side deck Infinite Permanence if you have issues with certain monsters, such as Vanity's Fiend. That's the only reason why I have Infinite Permanence in the side deck rather than the main deck, because certain matchups don't really use Vanity's Fiend as often, but it's still a good, powerful card just in case. For my extenders of the deck, for my Danger package, I play Triple Mothman, one Nessie, and one Jackalope. I don't play the Snake. I would probably end up someday fitting in the Snakes one day, because I think the Snake will be another way to combo off and extend off more powerful boards and things of that nature. But I think Nessie and Jackalope is both self-explanatory. The reason why I play 3 Mothman, because I really want to steal mine as often than the others. Mothman is just more of a powerful extender, because I can discard cards to fill up my graveyard for more light and dark chaos plays, and it allows me to get rid of dead cards out of my hand even quicker and recycle it with something new. So I'm okay with Mothman's effect. Plus, it can also hurt your opponent too, because then they have to think of what to do when they have to discard a card too. So in my personal opinion, I think it's a really good monster to play out. I play from other extenders, for my warrior extenders basically, because in this deck you do get restricted of summoning dark monsters. I play Armageddon Might and Dark Grepher. Both self-explanatory. They both work out pretty well. Armageddon Knight is actually a really better way, but I think Dark Grepher is much more powerful due to the fact that it just allows me to utilize both the dangers, utilize the Destiny Hero Militias, and my Orcust. Allows me to get them to the graveyard and extend off of more and more powerful plays. If Dark Grepher ever comes off the ban list to maybe possibly 2 or 3, I would run it more than Armageddon Knight and probably cut out Armageddon Knight altogether. Even though Dark Grepher is a really powerful monster and Armageddon Knight's really good of a card, I just altogether would take out Armageddon Knight and run another Dark Grepher. But I wish the ban list would be so kind and just give us another Dark Grepher. Because if we had 2 Dark Griffers, I think in this deck we'll be able to extend off a lot quicker and a lot powerfully. But in my personal opinion, I think those is pretty much the only extenders I ever really need. For the Phantom Knight engine that I do play 1 Cloak and 1 Boots. There's been times where I actually am tempted to play in another Boots due to the fact I do mill it a lot more than Cloak. Boots is just more powerful as a monster because I could just special summon it where Rusty points and everything like that and just extend off. Cloak is really good too. It just allows me to get the right spell and trap cards to my hand as fast as possible too. That way I can actually summon my boss monster in my extra deck that everyone's playing. But yeah, these are just really good and really broken. For like the Chaos extenders, just 1 Collapse Ripper and 1 Weather Buster. The Baby Dragons is self-explanatory. They're basically good monsters to extend off with combos and things of that nature. For like the tuner of the deck, like for the Lightsworn kind of deal, I play only 2 Raidens due to the fact as often as I want to see Raiden, I tend to get more than 1 copy in my hand, even with a 60 card deck. I don't like that kind of thing, so I just cut out Raiden altogether to 2, and then I play another tuner extender, which is Rocket Tracer. I do play Quick Launch in the deck. Quick Launch is just, in my personal opinion, a really powerful way. Plus, when you're under the influence of the Orcust monsters, you tend to want to go for a dark tuner monster, so that way you can extend off even more. I don't run any other synchro monsters in my extra deck besides the Chaos Ruler. But there's been times when I want to incorporate Warlord Savage. So if you guys see something in the extra deck, you guys feel free to want to put in Warlord Savage. I would recommend that. It's a good another negate, but I didn't have enough room in my extra deck to even do so. But this is pretty much all you need for the tuners, in my personal opinion. And then I do play the Dragoon package, and obviously you got 1 Dark Condition and 1 Red Eyes Beat Dragon. So far, this is one of the best engines, especially because you can discard your Orcust monsters, and plus if you have the field spell on the field, you have the Orcust effects during your opponent's turn, so you can just utilize Dragoon's engine and just continue off with more combos. For the spells and traps, I play Triple Charger Light Brigade. This is self-explanatory, like I said before. Lightborn is just another way to extend, plus allows me to fill up my graveyard with more cards. Quick Launch because it's another extending way with Rocket Tracer and such. Raiden and Rocket Tracer are both tuners, so it's just another quick way. And another thing with Quick Launch is it's not a hard once per turn, so it just allows me to utilize Rocket Tracer a lot more. Yeah. I like both of these engines because they're really, really powerful and allows me to combo off a lot more. Plus, I'm guaranteed to get a tuner out on the board where I need it. Mainly a level 4 tuner, and that's really important for this deck because level 4 is really, really powerful when you think of it. For just like draw power, I play Triple Allure Darkness, and then you can kind of consider Chaos Space as being like a draw power because it just allows you to recycle your banish Chaos monsters, as well as it allows you to recycle Gamma if you think about it, because once you use Gamma's effect to banish itself, it cannot be normal summon or set. So Chaos Space can allow you to search out for Gamma if need be too, and that's something I didn't realize because Chaos Space only restricted you just to look for monsters that cannot be normal summon or set. So Chaos Space can help you search out your hand trap too, which is actually very powerful for this type of deck. And then Allure Darkness is really, really good too. It's just draw power. For like my 1-up spells, which is a lot, I do play Harpy's Feather Duster in the main deck. It's just something just in case if I have trouble against back row decks. I do side deck, I think, other back row decks or other back row hate somewhat in my main deck or side deck. Not as much as I think. I think if you go against a lot of decks that just mainly is basic on spells and traps, I go for based on what I feel is really, really powerful in the current meta. Harpy's Feather Duster is just really powerful against certain decks, but I prefer to main deck it rather than side deck it. I do play the Fifth Night Rank Up Magic Launch. You'll see why I play this card in the main deck, because there's an extra deck monster I specifically play, which allows me to go off with that. I do play Rhoda just to help me search out Raiden or any of the Armageddon Knight or Dark Greyfur. It's just many ways I can use that. I do play the Red Eyes Fusion, obviously, for the Dragoon package. Foolish Barrel to help me get whatever I need in my graveyard whenever I need it. 1-for-1 is just another way to help me get the Orcust tuner monster out on the board too quicker, and allows me to link plays and stuff like that. And then the one orchestrated Babel, self-explanatory. Babel is just self-explanatory. It's just the reason why Orcust is really, really good at this current moment. There has been times where I actually want to play more than one. I feel like taking out one of the one-ups you see there. I'm probably main deck that to 2 due to the fact if your opponent banishes it with Chaos Space and such like that, it's kind of you're kind of hindered and you're kind of stuck in your place. I want it where I don't get stuck in my plays and things of that nature. So I feel Orchestrated Babel is really, really powerful. So that's it for all the spells. For the trap cards, I do play Orchestrated Crescendo, I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's self-explanatory. It's just another Orcust trapper spell card, just to search out off of, I believe her name was Galatea. It's just another card to search off of Galatea. So yeah. Due to the fact I play the Fentonite engine, I do play 2 Fentonite Fog Blades as well as Shade Brigade. These are self-explanatory. They're really, really good cards to play. Fog Blade stops your opponent's monsters, self-explanatory, and Rusty is just, Brigade is just another way to get a free level 4 extender out on the board quicker. So yeah. For the extra deck, I do play a decent amount of newer cards. Due to the fact I play the rank up magic launch, I do play True King All Calamities. This is self-explanatory. Everyone these days are playing True King All Calamities until True King All Calamities get hit. This deck is really powerful even without this card, so if you guys do not want to play this card, you can take out the rank up magic launch and True King All Calamities all together and play something different. There's many other extra deck monsters you can play there that can utilize and go off from there. This is a good card to get hit with the Reaper. That's another card that I would recommend if you do want a side deck. And you want something to hit your opponent. True King All Calamities, I would say put in your extra deck, even if you don't use it, and just go off from there. But True King All Calamities is self-explanatory. Then I played the two. Then Dingisaru, he's self-explanatory. I only play two due to the fact it's self-explanatory. You only ever really go into probably one for every game. Dingisaru is also another card where you can, if you do want to side deck other extra deck monsters that can hinder your opponent, this would be one card you could probably side deck and you could do fine with just one. Dingisaru is really, really powerful. It allows you to go off with many more plays, and it allows you to get rid of your opponent's problematic cards if you can't get around them, because it sends, not destroys. But yeah. And then I play number 60. Due to the fact I do play a decent amount of level 4s, and it's just draw power. And that's usually sometimes what happens in this deck. You kind of get hurt when you don't have enough draw power. Alright, get that out of the way. I do play, obviously, my favorite and most broken monster in the game. I love the Magical Dragon. Chaos Ruler and the Magical Dragon. This is just really broken of a monster effect. And I just cannot go off with this card. This card is the reason why I play this deck so powerfully and so quickly. It allows me to go off more plays and allows me to get more cards in my graveyard. Another thing is, with the Dragoon package, even if you mill to pieces, you can use your Chaos Creator to recycle those pieces. That way you're guaranteed to get more plays. Even if you mill the Red Ice Fusion, and you still don't need to go into Dragoon, because you can get up on amazing boards without Dragoon. So the Chaos Ruler is just more broken and more powerful of a synchro monster in my personal opinion. Then obviously for the only other fusion type monster or other extract monsters besides Lynx is Red Ice Dragoon. Red Ice Dragoon is just self-explanatory. It's just a really powerful monster, even though we're getting to that format where Dragoon's just going to be more busted and more broken, and I don't like that. But Dragoon, why not just play it? It's just really powerful of a monster. For my Link 2s, I play 2 Galatea, self-explanatory. You only ever need Galatea at 2. 3 is just a bit much. Maybe you might end up going to the third one, but so far from the plays I've been doing, I don't ever really go into the second one as often, but sometimes there have been times where I do go in the second one. I do play IP Masquerena, self-explanatory. It's just another powerful monster to get rid of problematic stuff. Plus allows you to go into your bigger boss monsters if need be. Planet Verte Anaconda, because I play the Dragoon package, I have to play Anaconda. It's just self-explanatory. And then I do play, for my last Link 2 is Frame Lord Lambda. There's been times where I'll end up having game in my hand and I go off with my plays. My opponent doesn't have a negate, so I just want an additional way to get a negate on my board. Even if this card leaves the field, I'm okay with it. I can just use my Dragoon or any other negates I have currently on the board just to go off for more ways to stop my opponent. So Frame Lord Lambda is just another way to guarantee that you have another negate on the board. Plus, sometimes when you summon it, it kind of hinders your opponent and make him thinking, oh crap, he's got a hand trap. He's got Gamma in his hand. Sometimes if you don't, it just kind of makes your opponent get afraid, and it kind of slows down your opponent of thinking and processing and understanding, and they sometimes might pass or they might actually just go to game 2 and things of that nature. So it all depends. So that's all my Link 2s. For my Link 3s, I only have 2. I play Rusty. Rusty self-explanatory. Since I do play the Fentonite engine, I have to play Rusty. Rusty is just another way to make sure I get a negate. And then Nightmare Unicorn, because I have IP Masquerade, so mine as well incorporate another way where I can get rid of something off my opponent's board if they try to go off of plays. So like you can stop your opponent on their summon too, and it's just another way just to combo off. So yeah. For my Link 4s, I do play 2 Link 4s due to the fact one of them is not dark, so it's not guaranteed to go off, and you're not guaranteed to always summon it. but it's just really, really powerful, and I just couldn't hang off on it. I do play Mech Knight Crusader Anchromax. You usually want to go into this before you pass your opponent's turn, because during your opponent's turn, you're mainly going to be playing your Orcust monsters, and you're restricted on dark monsters for the rest of the turn. So this can, this card is mainly a good thing to summon before anything else, before you go off in any of your other plays. But Mech Knight Crusader Anchromax is just a really powerful boss monster, and it's just a good boss monster against a lot of things like that. And then I do play SS Code Talker. This is really self-explanatory. It helps me go off with OTKs. It helps me get rid of my opponents. And it just helps me stop my opponent. Other Link monsters you could play is the Black Crystal Soldier Link. Even though it's not dark, it's still another powerful Link monster to play in the extra deck. If you guys can't get your hands on that, that's self-explanatory. Other Link 2s would probably be like Nightmare Phoenix or Nightmare Cerberus if you do have problems against back row or heavy beer monsters that you can't get around that you can summon. Those are just other monsters you can do. So yeah, that's the end for the extra deck. For the side deck, it's a different thing on the side deck because it varies depending on what you do and how you side deck in the format and everything like that. If you guys want me to do a side deck video, I can do something like that. Basically, it'd be on camera, and then right here on the mat, I can show you what other side deck cards I would recommend, and I can show you what side deck cards you should keep in your collection to just in case it gets formats. I can even show you my side deck binder if you guys want to see that as well. Just let me know down in the comments below. I'll be more guaranteed to show you that. And I can show you what cards you could take out for this deck. I could do a side deck show on my actual deck here and show you what cards sometimes you could take out for to go into your side deck, and I can show people how to side deck properly and things of that nature as well. Just let me know down in the comments below. I'll be more willing to do a video of that such. You just let me know what you guys want me to do. I'll also be more willing to do that too, just to show you what other cards you could take out and what things, if you do have a hard time out there in the current formats or any tournaments or events, I can show you how to side deck properly. Because I'm still learning as I go, so you guys could teach me some things as well as I could teach you. Enough about all that blabbering. Let's go into the side deck. So I do play 2 DD Crows and 2 Skullmeisters. The reason why I only play 2 of each monster is due to the fact it's kind of hard to side deck in this current format because you don't know what you're going to be going against and what decks are currently out there because it's so divergent. I think that's how you say it. Diversed. There we go. I was thinking of the right word there. Skullmeisters and DD Crow are 2 good, powerful monsters that you can use during your opponent's turn. Neither are once per turn, which is really, really powerful for both of these cards, I believe. Yeah, both monsters are not hard once per turn. You can actually use these during your opponent's turn multiple times, so you can stop your opponent on multiple plays. If you guys feel free to want to play 3 of each, be my guest. The only reason I play 2 is because sometimes I want to see them, but don't want to see them at all the times because you want to make sure you're guaranteed to have your extenders in your hand. So that's where the side deck comes in. You want to make sure you're guaranteed to have certain things against your opponent on certain ways. For instance, like if I was to side deck these, I would probably take out 1 for 1 or Harpy's Feather Duster or other things of that nature that are like 1-ofs and put in multiple copies of certain cards. That way I'm guaranteed to see those cards as often. I don't want to play 3 of certain hand traps due to the fact that you can see multiple hands where you're going to draw or have multiple hand traps in your hands, which might not be a bad thing. It just depends on if you have an extender in your hand. For this deck, you mainly want to have 1 or 2 extenders, like Danger Mothman, Armageddon Knight, or Dark Griffer. But in my personal opinion, these are really, really powerful hand traps, and I only play 2 of each of these. And they're really, really good against a lot of the matchups that you're going to come against. Same thing with Nibiru. I only play 2. There's been times where you don't really need a Nibiru because you're not really going to go against a lot of combo decks. You're mainly going to go against a lot of these decks that are like heavy back row decks. So Nibiru is just self-explanatory. Now for the cards that can help you deal against those heavy, consistent boards, and you want to find a way to break those boards, I play a lot of different side deck options here that help you break down your opponent's boards. Even though I don't own High Tide Deck Silence and Prevent Droplets, I don't have the budget at this current moment to get those cards. When I do get those cards, I would recommend probably side deck those or main deck those due to the fact of what you guys feel free to want to do. For the ones I do play, for the budget options I do play is Forbidden Chalice and Dark Ruler No Mores. Now, these cards are really, really powerful, and these cards are really, really good against a lot of different decks and good against a lot of cards that you can't really get around. For instance, like I said and mentioned before, Drytrons tend to go for Vanity's Fiend to summon your, as well as try to get what they need in their hand too. That way, when it comes to the time, they can go for an OTK. So Forbidden Chalice is just one thing you can get around with Vanity's Fiend. It hinders that and it shuts that Vanity's Fiend down, so it allows you to combo off. Even if your opponent gets your first combo piece, you're more likely going to have a second combo piece to extend off afterwards. Forbidden Chalice is also another thing where you can activate during your standby phase, so it's preventing your opponent from activating hand traps around that time unless those hand traps are quick effects. So I think Forbidden Chalice is really, really powerful, and I feel like I would recommend people to side deck this as often as possible, or main deck it if you feel that it's more powerful to be in the main deck than either Ash or Gamma. Dark Ruler No More is the same thing. Dark Ruler No More allows you to break down your opponent's board piece by piece. It stops all your opponent's negates, so it gives you a chance to hinder your opponent's ways to combo off. So Dark Ruler No More is kind of like a way to stop your opponent's problems. Like, it gets rid of your opponent's boards and allows you to break apart it and just go combo off. I feel that those are mainly the most powerful cards to side deck. And then for my last card, I do side deck, like I said, the Infinite Permanence. It allows me to get around certain problematic cards that I can't get touched or can't get around. So Infinite Permanence is just one way. Plus, another thing about Infinite Permanence is my recommendation of playing it is due to the fact it can stop your opponent's back row. That's one thing this deck does have a hard time against. So back row is another thing. If you guys don't want to play Nibiru or Dark Ruler No More in the side deck, I would recommend probably playing Cosmic Cyclones or Twin Twisters if you do have problematics with back row. So far in the current area that I'm at and the current meta decks I've been facing and stuff like that, back row hasn't been a main problem. That's why I main deck Harpy's Feather Duster, due to the fact of because of that. But there has been times where back row does kind of hinder me and kind of slows down this deck. So if you guys want to play other things like Cosmic Cyclones, Twin Twisters, or even Galaxy Cyclone, you could play that too. That's also another really powerful spell that you can play in the main deck. When you mill it, it's still live. That way it gives you a chance to pop off. Another thing about the deck is you do banish a lot, so maybe Pot of Quizzicus could actually help you out, because there's another additional draw power, as well as another way to recycle a lot of your monsters and things of that nature. So you could side deck that as well. Plus, it can hinder your opponent's stuff as well, depending on what your opponent likes to play and depending on what your opponent does. So I hope you guys do enjoy this deck profile. Like I said, there's a lot of things you guys can main deck and change around and test. You guys can let me know down in the comments below if you guys want to see other decks. I do have a Fluffle deck profile I will be doing sometime this week or maybe next week. Just let me know down in the comments below if you guys really want to see that. I'll be more willing to upload that type of deck. Also, let me know down in the comments below what other decks that you guys want to see. I will try my best to make those type of decks. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys want me to try to go back for the Thunder Dragon version of this deck. I could try to do a Thunder Dragon Orcust deck profile. It's going to be a little hard, but I can do that. Yeah, and just let me know down in the comments below what other decks do you guys think I should play and test out that's currently not in the meta, that I can currently make it where it can compete in the meta. So yeah, also don't forget to let me know down in the comments below if you guys want to see me do a test-in video with showing how to properly side depending on certain matchups. I could do something like that in the future. Or you guys can let me know down in the comments below if you guys want to see my side deck binder, what current side deck cards I currently have to go against my opponents, and what cards that are really, really problematic against that can hurt certain decks that's in the formats and things of that nature. So let me know down in the comments below what you guys really want to see and everything of that nature. I'll be more willing to do those type of deck profiles. And I do have other decks that I'm working on at this current moment. But yeah. So let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. And also, let me know down in the comments below if you guys want to see me do a banlist prediction video. I'll be more willing to try to do a banlist prediction video. But that would be more currently depending on the meta at this certain state. So yeah. Anyways, Dragon Rockstar is signing out. Peace.